Now, we found that these feast days that are called God's feasts are virtually ignored by the church, but they're not ignored by the devil. He picks feast days to attack Israel. Explain, Perry Stone.
If you go into the New Testament, and this is some research that we did, I found it very intriguing that, for example, when Satan would come after Jesus, he would usually come after him with a large crowd of people who didn't like him on Passover in Jerusalem. In the book of Acts, for example, during Passover, who was beheaded? James was beheaded, and Peter was going to be beheaded after Passover. So then you had one apostle being killed before Passover, another one being attempted to be killed right after Passover. And I started realizing when you look at the New Testament up into the book of Acts, there's probably 6 to 8 examples what you can show you where the worst attack to come against Christ or against the apostles happened during the time of the feast. Now, I believe there's several reasons for that. Number one, Jerusalem was the site of redemption. And I'm going to give you a nugget here that's very powerful that the Lord gave me, and I wrote it down on a piece of paper, saw it yesterday. The reason Satan wants Jerusalem is he wants to own the site of redemption. He wants to own the land where redemption took place and lay hold of it and claim it for himself. And he's not going to be able to do that, but he's going to make an attempt to. And if you will discover, if you will look at these times when he would attack Christ during feast days, it was usually around Jerusalem or it was a time of a feast because, number one, it would be the site of redemption and was the site of redemption in the book of Acts. Number two, the largest crowds of people were there, which meant that if the Pharisees wanted to start a rumor on Christ, they had more people that could spread the rumor than they had any other time during a feast day. So when you look at this, you come to the conclusion after you study these examples in detail, which I have, that the enemy understands the feast days. Why did Israel get attacked during Yom Kippur years ago? The Yom Kippur War, when the Syrians came in to attack Israel, was during the time when all the Jewish men were on a fast and they were in the synagogue.
Right.
Why Yom Kippur? So in other words, we have to understand that if Satan sees these feasts as significant, surely we better understand what they represent.
Well, not only understand what they represent, because God says these are my feasts. And in the Hebrew, the word for feast is, these are my appointments. And many have found that when you worship God on His feast, there's like a portal, an amazing portal to heaven where the glory of God can come upon you and the angels can come up and down the ladder. I mean, the devil knows why he attacks us.
Absolutely.
But Christians must know why, not you have to. You don't have to come into the presence of God. You get to.
That's right.
You see the difference?